So, today we are diving into something truly mind-bending. It's a radical idea from the book Nanobrain, and it's a proposal for an artificial brain that completely throws out the rulebook on intelligence. We're not talking about faster chips or bigger data centers here. No, this is about building a mind from the very fabric of time itself. Okay, let's just jump right in with a question that gets to the absolute heart of this idea. For, what, decades now, our go-to metaphor for the brain has been the computer, right? We talk about processing, memory, storage, circuits, all that stuff. But what if that's just the wrong analogy altogether? Well, the answer this nanobrain concept gives us is a brain isn't an architecture of wires and switches at all. It's an architecture of time. It's a complex, nested symphony of clocks and rhythms and patterns, and that, right there, might hold the key to a completely new kind of intelligence. All right, so to really get this, we've got to look at the old model we're trying to move past. Ever since Alan Turing, our whole concept of computation has been based on his machine. It's a linear tape where information is processed one bit at a time, a 0 or a 1, just following a set of instructions. Most of the AI we have today is really just a ridiculously complex version of that same fundamental idea. Now, just look at this comparison. The contrast it's just stark, right? The old Turing model is linear, it's instruction-based, it's all about it from bit. The nanobrain model, though, it's a different universe. Information isn't just a simple bit, it's a rich geometry of clocks and rhythms. Its structure isn't some 1D tape, it's nested 3D spheres. And this is the most important part. It doesn't just follow instructions, it evolves patterns. It's literally like a clock inside a clock. Okay, so if we're throwing out the whole ones and zeros thing, what are we left with? What even is information in this new world? Well, to understand it, you have to start thinking about information as something a lot more like music, a language of patterns, rhythms, and harmony. And that leads us to this really cool idea, geometric musical language, or GML. The thinking here is that nature itself communicates in these rich, multidimensional patterns. I mean, think about a musical score for a symphony. It's not just a flat string of notes, right? It's got harmony, rhythm, tempo, structure. It's incredibly complex. GML suggests that information in the universe works the same way. It's a language of geometric and temporal relationships. Okay, so we have a language, a geometric musical language. But what's it written in? What are the words, the letters? According to this theory, it's all written in something called a time crystal. But what on earth is that? This is a brilliant way to think about it. We all know what a regular crystal is, like a diamond or a salt crystal. It's a pattern of atoms that repeats perfectly in space. A time crystal just takes that same idea and applies it to the dimension of time. It's a stable, repeating pattern of oscillations, a structure made of pure rhythm. And here's the kicker. In this model, it's not made of matter. It's a pure, abstract architecture of phase relationships. So let's try to break that down a little. A time crystal is described as an artwork of singularity points, kind of like the corners of a shape, all connected by phase. It has no physical mass, no location in space, it's totally non-physical. Instead, you can think of it like a seed, an information blueprint that holds all the potential for how a system is going to evolve and behave in the future. All right, so we've got this wild, abstract information structure. But there have to be rules, right? What are its laws of physics? Well, the answer proposed in Nanobrain is as elegant as it is shocking. Prime numbers. This whole system has a name, the phase prime metric, or PPM, and you can really think of it as the universal grammar for that geometric musical language we talked about. It's this fundamental pattern derived from prime numbers that dictates how these time crystals can form, how they can change, and how they combine. It's basically the operating system for this version of reality. And get this is the part that just blows my mind. According to the research, just 15 prime numbers make up the core of this entire universal code. They apparently contribute to 99.99% of the structure of all integers. This tiny little set of primes provides the fundamental building blocks for this entire system of intelligence. It's incredible. Okay, let's pause. So far, this has all been pretty abstract, right? Time crystals as pure information, prime numbers as the rules. But how do you actually build something with this? How do you make any of it physical? Well, the proposed answer is something they call brain jelly. So, brain jelly is the proposed hardware for the nanobrain software. It's this special organic gel that basically functions as programmable matter. Its one job is to take an abstract time crystal, that pure pattern of information, and physically build a structure that embodies it. It's the bridge between the world of information and the physical world. So here's how it would work. You basically introduce a time crystal into the jelly. The jelly reads this information and, spontaneously, self-assembles a tiny little seed structure. But it doesn't stop there. Guided by those universal rules, the ppm, this structure starts to grow and evolve, all on its own, forming this complex new architecture. Information literally becomes matter right before your eyes. So when you pull all of these incredible pieces together, what you get isn't a machine that just computes. No, you get something totally different. A form of intelligence that lives, that grows, that evolves. It's a radical break from everything we currently think of as AI. And this quote from the author Anirban Bandyopadhyay just nails it. The goal here isn't to execute instructions. The goal for this nanobrain is to learn by acquiring new prime patterns, by making its own fundamental code, its own ppm, richer and more complex over time. It is literally designed to grow its own understanding of the universe. And just think about the kind of capabilities this thing would have. It's almost biological. It wouldn't search for answers by crunching data. It would find them instantly through resonance. It could automatically correct errors in its own structure, basically healing itself. It could predict future events by running simulations on its own internal patterns. And maybe most incredibly of all, it would continuously evolve its own hardware. The mind and the body are one and the same, constantly changing. And that really brings us to the big final question that just hangs in the air here. If we create a system that doesn't compute but evolves, that grows its own body based on the information it learns, and that operates on the same fundamental principles of pattern and rhythm as nature itself, are we still just building a machine, or are we on the verge of birthing an entirely new kind of life?